Red button means we're live. A casual take with your boy Stephen Pepper, here to give a take off my chest. So we had a big trade in the NFL yesterday. No, it wasn't Brandon Ayuk to the Steelers. God, is that like the longest trade talk in NFL history? Hassan Reddick didn't get dealt for the Jets, even though he's trying to get out. No, he's not. It was actually Matthew Judon from the Patriots dealt to the ATL in exchange for a third-round pick. Listen, some would say trading for a 32-year-old edge off a season-ending injury and an expiring contract is a bit risky. But if you're the Falcons, this is a necessary gamble you got to take 10 out of 10 times. Because let me ask you, when's the last time the Falcons have had a legit pass rusher? Vic Beasley? That was like many moons ago. Because the reality for this franchise is they've had the worst pressure rate in the NFL the last 3 seasons. That's no bueno. And you're gonna put that out there while also saying you're trying to win the division in an era where pass rush is more important than ever? Just unacceptable. Enter Matthew Judon, who in 21 and 22 was in some elite company. He was in some elite company in the last couple of seasons. In 21 and 22, he had 28 sacks. Only Nick Bosa and Myles Garrett had more. Is that not good? Oh, but Steven, he's old, coming off an injury. We don't know how good he's going to be. Yeah, ask the Chargers how that worked out for them. When the Chargers traded for Khalil Mack, when he had the season-ending injury of his own, in the last 2 seasons, he's given them 25 combined sacks. The Falcons desperately need that level of production if they're trying to compete. So this was a really good trade. Now, Falcons still got to pay for Matthew Judon. I get that. He's the whole reason why I was upset in New England and wanted out, or they traded him, was because the guy wanted to be shown the money. And the Patriots were like, nah. But I like to believe that the Falcons aren't stupid, that they would make this trade without having like a vision or a plan or a verbal agreement in mind that they can give Judon this money after what we're seeing unfold in New York with Hassan Reddick getting traded to the Jets but still not getting his money, and now he's requesting a trade. And they only gave up for a third rounder, which you could say is a little pricey. I'm a firm believer, if you're a win-now team, pick doesn't really matter because the Falcons are an all-in team. They got to push their chips in the middle because their quarterback's 36 years old. When you sign a 36-year-old, you only got like 2-year window with him. And they're basically saying we're all in to win in these next 2 years. And a third-round pick in 2025 is not an all-in asset. But Matthew Judon, he is. And, I already like the Falcons to win the NFC South before this trade because they won 7 games the last 2 seasons with horrendous quarterback play. I mean, Taylor Heineke, Desmond Ridder. I don't think you can get worse than that. But today I'm more confident in him because you bring in Kirk Cousins. He's a real dude who can win you a lot of games, second easy schedule. And now you're solving your biggest issue in the last half decade, which has been the pass rush. And that helps with Matthew Judon. I thought they would solve it with pick number 8. They didn't. They went with Penix. I was like, bringing a cornerstone defensive player for a young head coach. They didn't. Say what you want. Agree, disagree with the Penix move. You guys know how I feel about it. But you kind of make up for it when you bring in a guy like Matthew Judon who can rattle off 10 to 15 sacks a season. And for New England, I like this move because they're a team that's going nowhere fast. And I've said on here for a long time, if you're a team that's going nowhere fast, needs to enter a rebuild, but you have this like older star, no matter what, it's the NFL, NBA, MLB, you got to get that guy out of there for the most value possible. And a third-round pick for a guy who's 32 now, I think he's 32 today. Happy birthday, Judon. Coming off a season-ending injury, expiring contract, and wants a lot of money, you got to get rid of him. And a third-round pick's good value. For a team that historically has whiffed on so many draft picks, you can't go wrong with having more draft picks at your disposal. And, Judon clearly did not want to be in New England. He didn't. He wanted to be shown the money or else he just didn't want to be there. And New England, he wasn't on their timeline. Why would New England give him a back when he's 32 years old and this team's in a rebuild? That's why they had to ship him off to a win-now team, that being Atlanta, that can use him right now and give him the money. And again, Atlanta still has to pay him for this trade to look really good. But I don't think they're stupid enough, given that we've seen what's unfolding in New York with the whole Hassan Reddick thing, the Pittsburgh Steelers trying to get Ayuk his money. We're seeing all that unfold. I don't think the Falcons are dumb enough to do this trade without thinking that they can pay him. Because what Matthew Judon could bring to this team as a legit pass rusher, which they haven't had since Vic Beasley, which was like, what, 2016? Dude, I was in like middle school. That was multiple moons ago. And one of the worst pass rushers in all football. You can't put that out there if you're saying, oh, I'm bringing in Kirk Cousins because I want to win this NFC South, but I also have the worst pass rusher in a more than ever pass-heavy league. Pass rush is very important today. You can't put out the worst pressure in the league and expect to win a division. But Matthew Judon, who could rattle off 10 to 15 sacks, last 2 healthy seasons, he was tied with TJ Watt in sacks. That's a guy who can really help. But now you bring in the guy from Clemson in the second round. You have Bates, who's an all-pro, maybe bringing Justin Simmons. They're trying to lure more free agents. This can be a formidable defense. They were already 15 last year, ranked overall defense. Young defensive head coach and Raheem Morris, who won a Super Bowl with the likes like Aaron Donald. What can he do now with the Judon off the edge and some guys in Atlanta? This team could be really good. I feel confident that they can win the NFC South now because they're building a formidable pass rush that they just didn't have. But I appreciate everyone for tuning into this episode of A Casual Take. Follow my social medias to stay updated on all things related to the show. Until next time, see you.